everybody. This is Tim Moynahan, and this is Minutes with Moynahan, my opportunity to share with you some of the issues that impact upon me, which I think are important for the welfare of America and for the good of all of us. Messages that I hope are maybe challenging. Certainly we don't want to avoid challenges, even disagreements, but we don't want animosities. We don't want hatreds. And we should try, you and I should try to avoid those kinds of negative feelings that undermine what we want to achieve. We all have the same goals. We want what's best for America. We have different ideas on how to get there, but that's a good thing. That's what democracy is all about. Freedom of ideas, freedom of association, freedom of speech, under great attack today, which is something that I will talk about as we go forward. So it's been a crazy week. The impeachment goes on in Washington, D.C., something that I think is inadvisable, is divisive, only will have people solidifying their opinion in opposition to each other. It's a no-win situation. The president will not be impeached. Those who advocate for his impeachment will celebrate the mere fact that they had a trial. They'll spin it in some way that has nothing to do with the actual truth of the matter. And those who are in favor of him not being impeached will spin it also in their own way, that it's some kind of a great victory. The riots of January 6th were horrendous, an assault upon our democratic principles, a black eye all over the world. There are no winners that come out of that sad and sorry day. And if we would only begin with that perception and build upon it and see where the blame lies, I would emphasize, because I don't, by the way, I don't exonerate President Trump entirely. I do think that more has been attributed to him than he deserves, but that gets into such a long discussion, and I'm sure a contentious one, that this is not the time. It may be the place, but it should be at another time. So without dwelling on that, the craziness of the week is where I started, and the last crazy thing I heard was Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, which, by the way, I gave up on watching a long time ago because of what I think are incendiary remarks, undermining national unity, turning the recreation of sport and the interest of cheering for your team into some kind of a political litmus test. Well, Cuban hit a new low this week, in my estimation, when he banned the playing of the national anthem before Maverick games. There was an immediate pushback. Cuban is someone that I have always had certainly respect for his intellect and for his business acumen, and watched him from time to time on Shark Tank. And I thought he was incredibly insightful, kind to the people who were on there, gave good advice. I thought that he was a great leader, potentially even a president of the United States of America. Stranger things have happened than a Mark Cuban for president. This is, I don't know whether it was politically correctness, it was a motivation from that vantage point, whether he took a test, public relations kind of thing, and thought there would be support, widespread support. It offended a great many people, I among them. But the NBA, for whatever reason, part of it might have been a financial motivating factor. Some of it might have been principle, but they said it's against the policy of the NBA to ban the national anthem. It's an ironic and painful situation to think that the National Basketball Association has to tell a billionaire owner in the United States of America that it's okay and to be encouraged and patriotic. And patriotic is not a dirty word. It's a good thing to play our national anthem. So to me, that was another crazy thing. But I appear on Facebook, publish my opinions regularly, and a couple of times, most of the responses are interesting. I'm pleased to say I get a lot of affirmations. I have my critics, and some of those critics get personal, most of which are fine. I mean, it's part of the debate. And when people's emotions run deep on issues that affect the very nature of our society, the well-being of our people, I think a little bit of personal attack, it's really not right. It's rather unacceptable. On the other hand, I judge it okay in the middle, shouldn't be overdone, but in the heat of the moment, I'd say go at it. It doesn't bother me at all. But there are some people, and only a couple, who, because of a position I might take, I'm thinking of one woman in particular. She called me a jerk. This is because of a strong opinion I expressed contrary to the lionization, I'll call it, of Kamala Harris. I have a very different opinion of her, opposite of extolling her virtues. Reading her history, watching her in public, following her career before she became a candidate for vice president, I express my opinion, and it's not a positive one. So I understand somebody else may think she's a wonderful representative and the first woman of color as vice president, and that controls part of what controls their opinion. And it's okay to call me a jerk if I don't agree. I have been called worse. I'm just getting to that. But then she goes off onto a tirade, this particular woman, saying I'm a racist. And of course, that's the buzzword these days. If you really want to intimidate somebody, shame them, put them in a corner, make their language and their conduct, their opinions indefensible. There's a word for it. It's not jerk, but it is racist. Now, that's offensive. I'm not going to defend myself as not being racist. I'm going to point out the fact that when you do call somebody a racist, have really good evidence and not just a difference of opinion. Because it is that kind of categorization that creates permanent divides. Now, this woman, I don't know her. I've never met her. I know who she is, but I've never met her. I'd be very happy to discuss issues with her, but I don't think she'd want to discuss them with me. She has already, and I'm emphasizing this personal experience that I had because I think many of you watching can relate to it, that when you say certain things that you're well-intentioned, for example, I'll tell you what my opinion is about what happened. We talked a little bit about it, not sufficiently. We don't have the time today, but I'll tell you what I think about what happened in the country during the summer months in Portland, in Seattle, many, many other cities. I thought that they were aggravated riots. Buildings were burned, people were shot, police were killed, innocent people were victimized. Among the peaceful protesters, there was a core element of anarchy and of violence. Those protests were anything but peaceful. Now, say that in certain circles. Say that to the media in general, the New York Times or the Washington Post, CNN. You are likely to be categorized as a racist. Now, that's completely wrong. It completely undermines the First Amendment. The First Amendment was going to be is the core of my remarks today. But I think we've gone to a good place. I think what we've done, that I've done almost inadvertently, is to set the scene for the next discussion we have. And I'm going to just leave it with a bit of a teaser. I am involved, in fact, I'm a founder of an organization just getting started called American Healers. And our credo is, we eschew the far right. We eschew the far left. We want peace. We want protests. We want you to join in the protests that we support and endorse. And we want peaceful protests. We're absolutely against violence in all of its ugly manifestations. We won't tolerate it among those who join with us. And we certainly don't tolerate it in the manner and shape and form it's taken with such organizations as Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the Proud Boys. Whether it's right or left, we decry them, we disdain them, we deplore them, and we have to marginalize them. But speaking about it isn't enough. We are the new Americans. We are American Healers. I just joined an organization called Freedom of Speech. Freedom of Speech. I don't remember now exactly the name of the organization, but I just joined this week. It's dedicated to the proposition that America depends upon defending the speech of those we hate. And even if and hopefully we don't hate many of them, but some of them are despicable, and there's no other emotion. We can't feel sorry for them, we can't excuse them, but it's more ideas, really ideas that we're grappling with. And it was Voltaire who famously said that I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So with this free speech society, I hope to get more involved. I've not only joined and paid an initiation fee, I've written a letter, I've written an email asking them who I can contact so I can get more involved. I want to bring that to you in subsequent episodes. What freedom of speech stands for, how you can support it, how you must not allow yourself to be intimidated or shunned or shut down when you're falsely accused of being a racist, when you're standing for common sense and for decency, for truth. So this is a good foundation, I think, this episode, which I'm about to conclude, because we can launch it into now, what I want to talk to you about, launch it into the next time. I think what I'll do the next time is begin, and if you don't know this phrase, you can look it up and then we can discuss it together. By discussing it together, I mean, here I am talking with you, I hope not at you, but the term is gaslighting. It has a very specific meaning. Its origins come from a play that was written by Patrick Hamilton in 1938, adapted then in 1940, I believe, and then again in 44, the movie Gaslight. It has a specific meaning and application to what is going on in America today. It's frightening. It should be a scary thing for you. It's happening every day. It's affecting our way of life. It's dividing us. I will go into it at some length in the next episode. So look up gaslighting. I'm going to talk some more about what we believe in, the credo of American Healers, and the people who believe in freedom of thought and ideas and fighting for it, not just speaking for it. And we'll add a subject or two, whatever is crazy going on in America at that time. There's likely to be something crazy going on. There's no reason now. I'm going to go back until March of 2020, when COVID unleashed its vitriol on us in a miserable way. It's been crazy. It's been very crazy ever since, politically, health-wise, and otherwise. But We were born optimistic, not with a silver spoon in our mouth, but maybe with a milk bottle when we got to that age that was always half full. So my milk bottle was half full then. My health drink, whatever the health drink choice of the day is half full now. So with that thought, the glass is half full. Let's keep it that way. Let's fill it up together and make it a health drink that we can all enjoy. I'm going to say goodbye at this time. I want to thank you for being with me and listening. I'm welcoming, I always welcome your questions if you have any. I'd like you to subscribe, if you will. If you liked anything that you heard, I promise it'll get better. I'll make it tighter in the future and focus in more deeply on various subjects, starting with gaslighting the next time. You can hit the like button if you like. That would be appreciated. And if you have any ideas or suggestions, by all means, despite the fact that I have very firm opinions, as firm as my opinions are, equally open is my mind. I'm willing to listen. I'm amenable to change. I would expect you to enter into any discussions we have in the same state of mind. So thanks for listening. God bless America. Raise the flag. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Star Spangled Banner before every game, every athletic contest. Take care.